Sports Broadcasting, and in a couple days, the 2019 college football season will kick off with Miami versus Florida at a neutral site game at Camping World Stadium in Orlando. These two teams are big rivals. It's a really big game in the college football world and also in Florida. Number 8, Florida, the Gators come in with high expectations for the season, and Miami also has high expectations too, although they suffered from a 7-5 year last year where they lost and got routed in the Pinstripe Bowl. What do you see in quarterback Felipe Franks, as he has to really improve his game to be a national championship contender this year?
Well, I think he's already really good, but I think he can very much improve and get them maybe into a college football playoff game and compete with Alabama in the SEC championship game if they get past Georgia there. But Felipe Franks, he's a great player. I think Florida will do very well this season, probably top 10 and make a big New Year's Six Bowl or national or college football playoff.
Florida's a really good team, and they return a whole lot of starters from last year. Their top 7 wide receivers in yards throughout the whole season, all top 7 have returned, and that's very key in the college football landscape. It's also key to have a really experienced coach, and a coach who has been with the team. And Dan Mullen, it's his second year at Florida, and he shocked many people last season with a great year and a win in the New Year's Six Bowl over one of the best defenses in college football in Michigan. It was a really good year for Florida last year, but this is a huge game, and I think if they get beat this game by Miami, it'll obviously be great for Miami, a great start for them, but Florida may drop out of the top 25, and they can't afford that to happen. They cannot afford to lose this game. If they lose, it could turn their season and their hopes for a national championship out the window, and that would be terrible for them. On the other side, though, the Hurricanes, it's a first-year head coach. Manny Diaz was defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes last year, and he did a great job. They were top 20 in the nation in sacks last year, and they were also the 4th-ranked defense in the nation. Unfortunately, their offense didn't hold up their part of the job. But Manny Diaz, it's his first year as a head coach for a college football team, and it's tough in college football, let alone at one of the biggest programs, most historic programs in the nation, at Miami, and it's a very tough job. And with the inexperience he has, I really don't believe that they can, first off, do as well as people have them this year. I don't think they can win the ACC like some people believe, and I don't think they're going to win this game because from the offensive standpoint, quarterback Jarren Williams has 3 pass attempts on his career. He's a redshirt freshman, and he beat out Ohio State transfer Tate Martell. But he's a freshman, and he hasn't played a game at all, any big games in his career. So it's going to be really important for him to start strong, and it's going to be important for Miami as a team to start very strong in this game. But the Miami defense should hold their part up, even though they are playing a really good quarterback, like you said, in Felipe Franks. Both teams have really good defensive lines and good defenses. Miami has a really good secondary, as does Florida. C.J. Henderson would be a player to watch. All preseason SEC team, cornerback for the Gators. He's really good. But what are your thoughts on really the outcome of this game?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think Florida might underestimate Miami a little bit, but Miami will do pretty well this game. They'll hang in there. They'll do really well, but I think Florida's just going to be too good, and they'll win 34-21 in a good game. They pull away there at the end.
I think Florida's going to win this game. With all the moving pieces, the new head coach, Manny Diaz for Miami, as good as you are as a coach, pretty much no coach can overcome moving the pieces, a freshman quarterback. They are missing there's 5 players in the offensive line. 4 of them were seniors last year for Miami. That's going to be really tough. I don't think their offense is nearly as good as Florida's, and Florida's defense, I think, will just clobber Miami. on that side of the ball. But offensively, I think Miami will be good. Tate Martell was a good player, but unfortunately for him, he is now backup quarterback as he was presumed #1. But that puts a lot of pressure on Jaron Williams as he was thrust into the first string. And if he doesn't perform well this game, it's going to be a really bad look for Manny Diaz and for his career as well. I don't see Miami's offense getting past the Florida defense. I would be shocked if they got past 20 points. Florida's going to win this handedly, maybe about 24, 27 points for the Gators, maybe about 13 or 14 for Miami. But Florida should defensively just keep pounding Miami. Florida also does have a really bad offensive line. They had a great run game last year, one of the best in the nation, but they also lost 4 of their 5 linemen because they were seniors last year. But it should be a really good game. The key to the game, I think, is the offensive line for Miami or Florida. One of them has to step up, as they both are very young and inexperienced. I think really whoever steps up, whichever team steps up, I think will have the advantage when it comes to just game-changing plays, strip sacks, putting pressure on the quarterback. And one mismatch to watch is Jabari Zuniga. He's defensive lineman for Florida, one of the best in the nation. He got 15.5 sacks last season and was top 5 in the nation in sacks. He has a mismatch against left tackle Zion Nelson. He's a freshman, hasn't played a college football game yet. And it will be a really tough task for him. He'll have to make big plays, and I think really he's the key to the game. I see this being a 24-13 game. Florida wins. But thank you for watching this video on Sports Broadcasting. Next Sunday, we will review what happened in this Miami versus Florida matchup and look forward to the next week in college football.